In the 11 years of doing YouTube, I've analyzed thousands of different YouTube channels, and in this video, we'll cover the 5 rules that this channel, that all of these successful channels have in common, that these small channels here that are failing, they don't know these rules. And that's why they're only getting 200 views, 400 views, 400. Here, this one with 150 videos, they have 6,000 subscribers, not even cracking 1,000 views. Then this one here, 8,000 subscribers, also not, okay, they're not even cracking 2,000 views. In this video, we'll cover the exact 5 basically rules that all of these successful channels follow that most people don't know about, right? Okay, and by the way, these exact rules have helped me to make thousands of dollars with YouTube. As you can see here, these are not just some random results, but here's $60,000 in 1 month. Like here, 2,000 subscribers, 200,000 views every 48 hours. Here, blew up this channel with only 7 videos. Then here, another one, $48,000 in revenue. And this didn't just work for me, it worked for thousands of my, not thousands, but hundreds of my students. And by the way, if you're interested in, working close with me, just check out the first link in the video description where you can then book a call. But here you can just see, like, this is a channel of one of my students. Here, just as an example, $5,000 a month. Then here, this one didn't do that well. Here's another one, 170 euros a day, and on and on and on and on, right? So let's actually get started with the first rule, which is the unfair advantage, okay? Now, what exactly is that? We're firstly going to look at the channel Dintastic, I don't know how to say that. But yeah, by the way, these videos are going to basically be uncut. So if your attention span is very, very small, just go away from my channel, because on here, we don't have time to edit. We just want to bring value, right? Now, why is this channel so successful? Very simple, because it's actually in one of the most saturated niches on YouTube, but it's still able to pull in 1.8 million views, 1.7 million views, 1.3 million views. Why exactly is that the case? It is very simple. If you look at most of the channels in that specific niche, if you look at here, for example, these ones, 8-minute video, 7-minute video, and 7-minute video. Now, what is the biggest difference here? This channel here is using the unfair advantage of video length for them, right? Their videos are here, 26-minute videos, 36-minute videos, 45-minute videos. So this channel here is winning simply by using an unfair advantage over their competitors, which is the video length, right? The video length. They're going the extra mile to actually create longer videos to be able to easily beat their competition. They're putting in more effort into their videos to be able to easily beat their competition, because just think about this. And that's why I always say, create longer videos than your competitor videos. Okay. Now, why is that so? Who is YouTube going to push out on the YouTube homepage or in the suggested tab? A person who can keep people on YouTube for 4 minutes, or a person who can keep people on YouTube for 15 minutes. Who's YouTube going to push out? They're obviously going to push out the longer videos way more, because they automatically get more average video duration. They keep people on YouTube for way longer, right? Because just imagine if someone watches this whole video, this video can get a max of 26 minutes of average video duration, where this video can only get like 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Like I already said, the longer videos win on YouTube. And that's why you always see, as the niches actually get older, you will see in many niches that the videos get longer and longer and longer, because there's new competition coming in, and you want to create longer videos and use that as an unfair advantage, right? Now, if you, for example, know a lot about cars, that could also be an unfair advantage, but you always want to, create longer videos than your competitors. Always, okay? Now, the pattern is simple. Find what your competition doesn't do and do it better or faster than everybody else in that niche. That is your unfair advantage, okay? Very simple. Now, another thing is, while most competitors or most people in this specific niche were making 10 facts or 15 facts, this channel went ahead and they created 101 facts about this and this car, right? So they're using that as their advantage together with the video length, okay? Very simple. So always try to find an unfair advantage if you go into a niche. Very, very important, and this is going to help you a lot. And if you look at most of the successful channels on YouTube, you will see exactly this. Now, the next thing, the happy channel. Most people think all the good niches are taken, or that there are too many channels and that there's too much competition on YouTube. But that cannot be further from the truth, because, well, here's the secret that most people miss, okay? Don't compete in existing categories. What you do is you actually go ahead and you create your own category. Very simple. Let me show you an example. So a few months ago, the history niche exploded on YouTube. And this was one of the first channels in that specific niche. This was one of the niche leaders. It has 120,000 subscribers, almost 200 videos. Here's a video, 2.5 million views, 2.8 million views, almost a million views, 800,000 views. Now, obviously with that, people are going to come in and they're going to try to copy this channel almost one-on-one. Now, what do you guys think is going to happen? Now, if you look at this channel here, 50 videos, not even 400 subscribers, this channel is struggling to get 1,000 views on their videos, right? And this is exactly why, because this channel is straight up copying this channel. They're not, trying to figure out something new, trying to go into a different sub niche, just using this style and pivoting a bit of a different way. Now, there are other channels like, for example, this one, Pirates on TV, which are in the exact same niche, right? Which is also history, but pirates is a different sub niche. So they're taking the existing, format, the existing topic, and just moving it to a different topic. So here you can just see 70 videos, 20,000 subscribers. This channel is doing super well, doing around about like $5,000 a month. How pirates turned seawater into drinking water. So if you even look at these thumbnails, they basically took this exact concept, right, and moved it over to pirates. And that's why this channel is actually making money and this channel isn't making any money. Very simple. So always, once you find something really interesting, try to figure out like, hey, what kind of different sub niche could I take this into? Okay. So there's so many, I can't remember the name now, but there's so many different channels in this exact same niche, right, that blow up, that just use this exact format, but just for different kind of people, right? Very, very easy. So always think about, shifting it a bit, okay? Then the pivot master, number 3. This is the third rule, okay? Super important. Most people, literally skip this. And that's why most people literally fail after 30 days of trying faceless YouTube channels. Now, if we look at this channel here, for example, Aviatrix, it has 650 videos and it has 60,000 subscribers. In the beginning, it posted videos that didn't even cross 1,000 views. So here 1,000, then it had one that has 15,000, here one 200, 400. But look at these videos, right? So these videos were mainly about how do the airplanes actually look like? What are the best 5 business classes? Just as an example. Now they saw this didn't work. So they obviously, pivoted. They need to try different things. And this is something I always recommend everyone to do. Once you start your channel, test out different things. Always test out in different directions. What did they do? And if you look at their most popular videos, so here you can see 101 airport secrets they didn't want you to know. Now this whole airport stuff, the people that, are in the YouTube space know exactly that these kind of videos were absolutely blowing up. Now, why did this video go so viral? Very simple, because once again, they went ahead and they, looked for unfair advantage, which would then again be the video length and the 101 airport secrets, right? Where most people would again only do 5 to 15, right? Now, the next thing you see is they completely pivoted their content style. And now if you look at this channel, you guys can look up this channel on YouTube. They're mainly doing videos like this, right? Because these videos have been proven to work very, very well. Okay, they're doing way better than these. And that's why they're now doing these videos, because they tested a bunch of different things on YouTube. So pivoting, very, very important. Now, what if pivoting actually doesn't work? Because sometimes people pivot and it just doesn't work. Now, pivoting isn't about randomly changing stuff. It's about following the data and testing systematically. Okay. Now you're not going to randomly pivot into different niches. What are you going to look at? You're going to look at what exactly are the people in your niche doing? Why are these channels winning? What exactly are they doing right? And how can I take that and implement that on my own channel, right? That's why I always say it's super, super important to still be up to date with the niches or with the channels in your niche once you have started your channel. Because I see too many people failing because they literally don't do any niche research or market research after they've done their initial niche research. Once you started your channel, you always have to keep up to date with all of the recent channels in your niche, because there's a huge chance that one of these new recent channels brings up a massive trend, like for example this one, that works super well. You pivot to that and that works absolutely fantastic for you, okay? So pivoting, super important. Most people don't do this and they just stick to the same thing. You can't, like if you read a book twice, you will always have the same end. And that's exactly what happens if you stick to a format that just doesn't work, okay? So you always want to try something new with your channels. And by the way, if the channels is winning, a good rule, something we do, is 80% of the content, right, that we post is proven to work. Okay, 80% is what works on my channel. We just continue with that. And then we have a 20% of videos. Let me just draw it like this. 20% of videos on our channels where we actually test completely new concepts. And if it doesn't work, we don't care. Okay, but if it does work, then we now have a huge advantage over all channels in our niche. So always like use this 80-20 rule. Here 80% do what works and 20% test some new formats, some new styles. Just test, okay? Now next up, the execution speed. This is the fourth rule. Now I basically read this book a few years ago, and this changed my entire view of, doing business. The book is called Ready, Fire, Aim, by Michael Masterson. Now, what this is basically just taking action. Instead of planning the whole time, just get started. Imagine two different people start a channel, okay? Two different people. Now, person A, let me just draw it like this, thinks about everything for months. They're trying to have the best video idea. They're trying to have the perfect banner, the perfect thumbnail, the perfect video. Like everything should be perfect, right? So it takes person A 2 months to post the first video. Then we have person B, he just gets started. He just starts posting in week 1 or week 2. Now in 2 months, this person probably already has like, let's say for example, 30 videos online, right? And most probably already makes some money. Let me just write it like this. Where this person hasn't even tested their first video. And trust me, every single time, a person that plans for 2 months against a person that actually just takes action, person B, the person that just goes ahead and takes action, is always going to win, because you're going to learn way more by doing than you're going to learn by planning. Always keep this in mind, okay? Very, very important. The person B is always going to beat person A. Very important, okay? Now, why is that so? The faster you move, the faster you get data, the faster you can pivot, and the faster you can make money, okay? While person A has 1 video online, has no data, cannot pivot, can do nothing, person B already has 30 videos online, can now pivot, can now see from the data like, hey, what is the best thing I can do from here? What direction do I need to go into? What exactly is the best path from here? Now, person A can't do that, but person B can do that because they started, okay? So it's very, very important. This is very important to don't overplan, don't overthink, just, get started and take action. Now, the 5th rule is the AI advantage. Now, here's the problem, or here's where most people go wrong. They see AI as a magic button you press to create a full video. Some people will literally go to ChatGPT and tell it like, hey, give me 10 video ideas for a car's YouTube channel. That is never gonna work. Like literally never. I've never seen that work, right? So it's very simple. AI without human strategy, creativity, and direction is just a waste of time. If you go to ChatGPT and you type in, just give me 10 video topics about cars, that channel is going to be a waste of time, because it's in 99% of cases, that channel is going to fail. Okay, so you always have to do niche research and do the research and everything yourself. You can use AI as a help, but you don't want to completely let AI do the whole process, because that's never going to work. Trust me. Now, what most of these channels do that are actually winning, they're using AI to move faster. Okay, so they can use ChatGPT as an example to help them to do the niche, the research. They could use ChatGPT to help them to come up with like script outlines. They use ChatGPT to move faster. They don't use ChatGPT to do the whole video or to create the whole channel. That's not what we use AI for, right? They use ElevenLabs to get cheaper voiceovers so they can outproduce you if you use real human voiceovers. Now, ElevenLabs isn't bad. It has some really, really good voiceovers. They use ElevenLabs for speed, because with ElevenLabs, you can create a voiceover in like 2 minutes, where a human voiceover artist is going to take at least half a day, right? So most of the successful YouTube channels on YouTube literally use AI to complement the work, to help them to get the work done faster, okay? And they don't let AI do the whole work, because that's never ever gonna work. And if you can tell me one channel that worked by just literally telling ChatGPT, give me a script, and then they use the script, man, I'll PayPal you $1,000, okay? But you have to prove it. All right, so always keep in mind that successful channels use AI to research faster, to write outlines faster, and to produce content faster. Unsuccessful channels, right, like use ChatGPT to avoid doing niche research, to avoid writing scripts, and to avoid creating content. Okay, so these are the 5 rules here: the unfair advantage, the happy channel, the pivot master, execution speed, and AI advantage. Okay, so definitely, look at this video once or twice so you fully understand all of these rules and understand how to use all of this for your advantage. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. And then keep in mind, if you're interested in working closer with me, just click the first link in the video description, book a call with me, and we will see if you are a good fit or not. And then I'll see you guys in the next video.